All right, how you guys doing? Looks like Bitcoin's back on the move again. Let's turn down on my end. Like I said, how I pointed out earlier in this stream, I did some looking back, especially if we go back to the daily on here. We have been in this parabolic phase and we haven't broken it yet. We got real close last week when we hit, what is that, 9,700. If you follow this is a tool to track parabolic moves. Ever since we formed our bottom at roughly, 3150, I mean, I'll slowly here scroll up. We have yet to break it. If we keep up on this track, we're going to be touching roughly 14,000 real soon, and I really think we're going to be testing all-time highs within the next 3 months. Well, here, according to this chart, we should be at 18,000 roughly by August. So we'll see. This might need a little bit adjusting with time, but I really think this is going to be the track. I don't think this train's going to be stopping. So let's get on to the technical analysis. I'm going to get on the closer time frames. So we're testing that last line of resistance that I talked about. I'm going to clear some of this up just to get the clutter out. Alright, so Bitcoin, we're currently pretty much priced at about 12,900 right now. We're sitting right at that resistance line. You can see where we wicked off of it twice right here. And you can see where this lines up, where these wicks are right here. This is going to be really staunch resistance. If we break this, Bitcoin will go parabolic. And if we break 13,000, the next highs you can be looking for is 13,300. So if we break 13,000, 13.3 is going to be our next target. Now let's say we hit this in retrace. Yeah, there's no other patterns I can see here. But let's say we hit this and we retrace our next support levels. See this was red, but now we need to turn it green because it's it's vice versa. So whenever you break resistance and you build support on top of it, resistance will become support. Just like when you have support levels and then you break them to the downside, when you go back up to test them, it's no longer support, obviously, because you're under it. It becomes new resistance. So yeah, I don't feel comfortable putting it there yet. So, but if we turn this indicator green, because this will be our new support now. Oop. Yeah, keep it just like that. And we can probably inch this just a tad higher. So right now our next support level, we can move up. We have now another layer of support. And that should be about 12,700. So the goals in mind, or what to keep in mind with Bitcoin right now, is 13,000. We break 13,000. You really want to see a 1 hour close over this. But seeing how strong this resistance is, I really think if we're going to break past 13,000, I think it's going to be a parabolic move above it. I think we're going to move really quick. Just kind of like how we broke, how we broke 12,000 yesterday. There really wasn't even time to get confirmation. Once we broke that, we just powered right through it. So things to keep in mind. You have support levels at, actually, I kind of like that a little bit better. Well, you have support levels at about 12,300. The one that's closest to us right now, you have support level at 12,700. And our next resistance level, and it's really the last resistance till 13,300, is 13,000. So this is what we need to break. This is our goal right now. And, I'll zoom out here. We break 13,000, especially 13.3. We obviously have 14,000 support or resistance, but after that, we're going to be in price discovery mode. And that's what goes in line with this long-term parabolic trend that I've kept on here. We're following it to a T. So the wide open space is pretty much gone. Parabolic trend is getting tighter. So Bitcoin's move should keep up with it. So, all right, there's Bitcoin for us. Let's see what good old Ethereum's doing. Make sure this is all good. All right. So on Ethereum right now, and I'm going to clear this up too. Don't really need this ascending triangle anymore. It's now a thing of the past. So for Ethereum right now, all right, look at that. We just broke it. So our next line of resistance, we're looking, it's that one I talked about earlier. So we've broke the 1310 resistance. We're now going above it. You know, it's all eyes on Bitcoin right now. Ethereum will follow it. Well, it should, theoretically. But we're going to have this little bit of resistance. And the way you can tell is these touch points up here. See these two wicks right here and here? You could honestly put another resistance line if you wanted here too. But, you know, I don't want to make this chart too cluttered. So right now we have support at 303. Nothing's changed. Pull that out a little bit. You know, if we can close above this, especially a 2-hour candle, this candle will turn green. But until we close over it, I'm going to keep it red. Because if you look real closely, look at that. 1, 2, I mean, it's just slightly higher. If you look real closely, we rejected it almost darn near at the same level. So this would be a prime area to be rejected. I want this to load real quick. Usually when the exchange acts up, it's because lots of volume's coming in. I noticed I didn't see the price change. Sorry about that. So your next resistance level on Ethereum, you have this last little wall, 315. Once you do that, you know, we'll have this area up here, which that area doesn't look too bad. It didn't even have, we weren't even up there a day before we rejected it. So you have 1315 or 3015. You can see where these wicks close. That'll be roughly about 3019. I'm sorry, 319, 320. But I really don't see those acting like too, you know, it's not going to be like what Bitcoin's gone through the last 2 days. I don't see them being a big deal. Ethereum right now just broke. I mean, you can see this area that Ethereum had to go through right now. There's tons of movement in here, much more than what was in this area or this little bit of movement right here. So Ethereum's broken the big wall now. Now we just got to close it. Got to break this last little wall at 315, another little one at 320. Then we should be off to 325. And then our optimal target. Bitcoin's hit our optimal target right now. We're sitting right under it. So Ethereum could easily go and test $340. And look at that. Market Cipher got the green ping right here. I'm expecting a bullish move here. Perfect. So beautiful how that called it. See that green dot right there? Up. Another green dot. Doesn't tell you necessarily when to sell. It just tells you when price movement's going up. You can see the money flows going up here too. I don't want to concentrate too much on Market Cipher because this is CryptoFace's indicator. Not everybody has it. But I do highly recommend that if you do like this indicator, you can also go to Cipher A here. You know, and it'll give you, this is more for like the short term. So look at that call right there. These red X's are like short-term indicators of sell-offs. So you can see where it told you to sell off here. So I use it for confirmations. I don't use it to dictate my trades, but my goodness, it's a great indicator. All right, I'm going to go to XRP. I'm going to go to the Binance chart. Really would like to hurry through this a little bit. I'm going to be thorough, but Bitcoin owns the show tonight. We're going to do Tether. I hope you guys are enjoying the music. I got the volume levels, you know. If there's any recommendations you have for the stream, you know, I'll always take constructive criticism, you know. I do this because I enjoy it, but it is for you guys. All right, so XRP, not much has changed. Ooh, I was thinking we'd get a green dot there. So on XRP, like I said, nothing much has changed. You have support roughly at about 38 cents. And see, I see a lot of those wicks cluttering up. All right, so you're gonna have this last little line of resistance right here, right above, right before we get to 40 cents. It's gonna be about right here. I'm gonna draw this indicator, and like I said, a way you can dictate is to see where all these wicks kind of end. So if you see here, kind of see where the bottoms. Let's zoom out. Ooh, that was a quick move. 42. So it's going to be right at that 0.5 retracement. I'll zoom out here just to show you guys. 0.5 0.5 retracement. You can follow that line. If you follow it, it is literally right there. You can see where it acted as support for the longest time. We had a touch point here and another one there. We had little clusters all around it, but it's acted. Now it's resistance. You can see where it was support here, and now it is resistance. Gotta love it. People say TA doesn't work. I 100% beg to differ. Alright. Alright, if this music stays like this, I'm gonna find a new song. I have it on a techno, no copyright radio. I need to sift through some of this music, but crypto's been moving so crazy outside of these streams. Haven't really had time. So, things to remember on XRP real quick. I don't want to get too caught up in the music, and like I said, Bitcoin's moving, but you got support at 38 cents. You got this last little resistance line at the 0.5 retracement or fib level, which is right before 40 cents. It's like, let's get an exact level, be 39.8. But our next resistance line after that, after the fib level, will be just above 40 cents. And the more stubborn resistance is going to be right at 42.7 cents. 42.7. And you have this basically descending line of resistance. It's kind of just pushing the price down. So I'm really curious when XRP moves up here and we go and we test this area, what's going to happen. So it's just something to keep an eye out. So you got 38 support, roughly about 40 cents and a half. It's going to be the next major resistance. Alright, I'm going to switch this music real quick. So it'll take me just a second. Ooh, technique. Alright, where's that playlist I had? There we go. Let's try that. I apologize for this. Like I said, it seems like I find these stations and then they have some crazy music they start playing. That last station I found is downright creepy. So, alright, now this is like I said on my other streams, I want to add some coins to the stream, and I finally got some other coins that people have requested. So, this is one I was thinking about doing anyway. Let's do Tether. I'm sorry, Tron. Alright, so here's Tron. So this red line, it's a little bit irrelevant right now, but it's a key of a more long-term descending triangle that we've been in. Let me see what this looks like. Might be able to delete it. Alright, nope, it's still very much valid. So we've been in a much, honestly, since February of this year, we've been in a downtrend, and Tron has yet to break this descending, selling pressure. Not selling pressure, but it's just a descending line right now. It's holding it back, just pushing down on the price. So your support lines on Tron, you're looking at about 260 sats. You can see where we came down. We have multiple touch points. And just like I put that, that descending line right here, that you would like to break, I have a more short-term one right here. So, because not only do I like to do long-term targets, but I'm a day trader at heart. So, I trade options for the longest time. So, to sum up Tron real quick, you'll have your support line. You'll have it right here, about 260 sats. And you can see where we had support. This was support for the longest time. Got 2 touch points. And you can actually see where we wicked off here, came back up and failed before going down. So it's now formed as resistance. You break support, it becomes resistance. Just like when you break resistance, it becomes support. Your next, kind of like that. I'm deciding where I want it. So your next resistance line is going to be between 312, 315 sats. Just really depends on what exchange you're using. Because, there's not really an equilibrium between these exchanges. Now, these other 2 coins took me a minute to find that were recommended, or that I wanted to get analyzed. It took me a little bit to find them. especially Grin. That took me quite a while to find an exchange. TradingView doesn't have a lot of the exchanges that some of these other coins have. All right, Bitcoin, just to give a status update, it's 8:26 Central Time, so 9:27 Eastern Time, July 9th, and we are now we're just about to break 13,000. I think I'm gonna have a cool like 13,000 thumbnail on this. So, all right, so XTZ. So I was gonna do the Bitcoin chart, but there's just not a lot of data on this one. It must be a newer added coin to Kraken, and a lot of the foreign exchanges that had this, they didn't offer. Let's see. Can I use Kraken on this? All right. Maybe I did use Bitcoin. Let me see here. XTC, BTC, or no, I guess it'd be XBT. Kraken. Okay, there you go. So, you know, that's all the other altcoins have been. You know, they've just been getting murdered versus Bitcoin. So, you know, you've been on this, you know, this descending, you know, pressure line right here. Haven't really been able to break it yet. You know, this is just more of an estimation, and I need to actually turn this. I need to turn this red. It's definitely not needing to be green. So you got this right here. You know, one of your, you know, your optimal touch points you're going to want to hit, you know, kind of like how Bitcoin's was 13 and Ethereum's was 325. I'm sorry, 340 is, so if you're looking at Tezos or, you know, XDZ, you really need to break it's roughly about 1,200 Satoshis. You know, you can see how much data they have on this. Okay, wow. So they only have information from November last year on it. So, you know, these are a little bit harder because there's not as much data to decipher. And, you know, technical analysis isn't a crystal ball. It's basically just to look at past performance and to help better position yourself for what you believe will happen in future movement. So, all right, $16 from 13,000. Are we going to break it? So XTZ, you got your support level at a roughly 770 sats. You do have one little wick that hit a roughly 750, but it's only one wick. I'm going to do multiple touch points. You can see where you have these clusters right here, and you got that one right there. That's a signal of, you know, that's the best. Since this has limited information, this is the best area for me to gauge that's where the support area is at. You can see where we have this touch point where it was support. We failed, and you can see multiple times we've came up. So now this is now, it was resistance, but we broke above it, came back down, and look at that. Perfect. Now it's support. So your further down support, 770 Satoshis. Your more short-term support would be roughly about 910 Satoshis. And your resistance line, your first resistance line, will be roughly about, get a better reading, it's about 1,200. I feel safe saying that. All right. I'm going to go off topic here just for a minute. Look at this. We broke it. We're above 13,000. I really apologize for this, but, you know, Bitcoin's moving. We are now at the optimal. We're now at that line. Are we going to reject it? So if we zoom out here on Bitcoin, you can see we have these two little wicks up here right at about 1310. All right, this is exactly kind of what I was thinking. Remember how yesterday when I said when we break 12,000, you don't want to jump in right when you see 1301? Now, granted, yes, it was wrong yesterday. And I'm not saying that we won't go back above 13,000, but you really want to wait for confirmation. I like to see at least a 2-hour candle close above it. But like yesterday proved, you know, it's a little bit of a gamble, but you could be left in the dust if you don't take that chance. So, but I'm more of a conservative investor. I would rather wait for confirmation and then make my decision to have the safer play. Back onto Tezos XTZ, because I'd like to sum this up real quick, because we got one more altcoin to look at. You got a green dot right here on Market Cipher. Look at that. Just called it beautifully. What a call. Got your money flow pointing up. You now got divergence. In a way, you can kind of dictate this. This might be a little long. Yeah. But you can measure that line to here, and and you can see that divergence. I really recommend checking out CryptoFace if you haven't checked it yet. He has a great channel. Also Mitch Ray as well, but knowing if you're looking at technical analysis, you probably already know who he is. I owe that man a lot. He's taught me everything I've known, especially with technical analysis. He's really turned me into a good trader, into a great trader. Alright, look at that. We're failing. 12,925 now. So, alright. We got one more altcoin to look at. And I think that should be it. So, we got someone recommended the coin Grin. I've honestly never heard of this coin. I've heard of it for like there was a mining channel. It was like Mining Grin. I'm trying to think of what the name is, like Boss Mining, maybe, on YouTube. Let's see. Hitbit. I apologize if this is taken. It took me literally a minute to find this exchange and to find, because it seems like none of the exchanges I used even offered this coin. Alright, so on Grin right here, it's kind of a cool name for a coin. You have support at a roughly 420 USD tether. This one's for tether. The Bitcoin chart, it's just a mess. Like I said, all coins have been getting killed. So on some of these coins, it's a little bit better to look at the USD tether chart, because the Bitcoin's just been devaluating these currencies like no other. If you're valuing them in Satoshi rather than Tether. So on Grin, you got support, or you have support at 420 Satoshis. And let me look at this right here. And you have your first resistance line is going to be roughly about, what is that, 475 USD Tether. And if we break that, your optimal gain, now once again talking about those touch points of support, you can see where we hit that. Another one here, and then it kind of evens up. Let's see what this looks like. We'll do it live. I like to do a lot of these like lines and stuff on the static streams because my depth perception's a little messed up. So sometimes like it'll look straight to me, and then I zoom out on the 4-hour daily. It's like, my goodness, thank God I'm not a contractor. Alright. So your optimal gain though, and this is if Grin takes off, you break that first resistance at 475, you're looking at roughly $5.25. I would even just call it maybe even closer, about 520. Let's look at that. Yeah, no, I'll say 525 USD tether. And your money flow's pointing up, kind of having a flat bottom here, but I really don't like how flat this is. It could be too early to tell, you know, being that I'm not familiar with Hitbit, or let's see what this is. Yeah, HitBTC. I'm not honestly super familiar with that exchange. I know it's a foreign exchange, so I'm not sure how much volume they receive. So, but you can definitely tell there's support here. Bounced off here. Got another touch point there, almost another one there. Got a nice little cluster here and here. Now you got one, you know, more close up here. So, you know, to wrap this one up, you have support at 420. Your first resistance will be 475, and your optimal gain, you know, if it was to go parabolic per se, would be roughly, you know, let's just say $5.20, the 525 area. So, you know, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's content. You know, we finally got starting to slowly gain subscribers, and we got some more coin recommendations to add to the stream. And like I said, once we cross the 100 subscriber threshold, I'm gonna start doing live streams. I really enjoy doing this, and I really hope you enjoy watching me. You know, I really love doing this. It gives me something to do rather than just trading, and I'd like to put some of the knowledge that I've learned trading the last 3 years. You know, and I've even traded longer if you count options trading. But, you know, streaming's a little bit new. So if you look at some of my earlier videos, I apologize for the audio, you know, the audio quality, but it's a learning experience for me. That's why I did a live stream last night, basically to get any of the issues, you know, such as audio, the camera, and I got this cool headset here. What is it? Let's see if I have the box. It's the Elite Pro, the Turtle Beach, the Super Amp. It took me the longest time trying to hook this up. I'm a Linux user, and I just transferred to a Windows computer, so it's been a little bit of a learning experience for me. So, once again, I really hope you enjoyed today's content. If you would like to see this channel grow, please hit that bell, subscribe, and leave a like. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, and I will see you tomorrow morning.